is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the twilight.
I got love for you, no lie. I give my best, I try. Someday we'll touch the sky. You're an angel, little baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the projects, dodging foreign objects. Street knowledge, I should've went to college. Odds stacked against me, surviving off instinct. 3 blocks from the precinct. Lil' homie caught a case, others lost family members. Product of his environment, projects produce violence in the middle of the streets, cause that's how we eat. Just I rap about the trap don't mean I ain't about peace.
We must stand together, all together.
This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the twilight.
I got love for you, no lie. I give my best, I try. Someday we'll touch the sky. You're an angel, little baby. Wipe all your tears away. I know it's been crazy, but keep your head up high.
Foot chase through the projects, dodging foreign objects. Street knowledge, I should've went to college. Odds stacked against me, surviving off instinct. 3 blocks from the precinct. Lil' homie caught a case, others lost family members. Product of his environment, projects produce violence in the middle of the streets, cause that's how we eat. Just I rap about the trap don't mean I ain't about peace.
We must stand together, all together.
They're the ones that suffer, let your little day. Teach the children, teach the baby, teach the baby. Somebody gotta teach them babies.
Somebody.
Better teach them so.
I hope it's their mamas and they daddies as well. But welcome to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am Kiana.
And I can't hear myself.
Oh man, this King Jab, man, the voice of the peak.
And this is the one and only Mr. Edmond.
Well, we can hear you, Mr. Edmond.
Okay, that's all I need to know, because once y'all can hear me, I'm heard.
You heard? Hey, that's what's up. What's up?
What's up, King Jab, man? What's up,
I
man?
graduated yesterday.
Man, congratulations, man. You are an inspiration, my brother. I want to tell you, dog, you've been an inspiration, man. Even before this second round, you know, you still an inspiration, bro.
Where did you graduate? Like,
So I graduated and got certified in epoxy countertops and flooring.
oh yeah,
I got a whole countertop. I want the
I'm a
raindrop
beast
drizzle.
on the countertop.
I saw it.
Can I get the raindrop?
You put it in the group chat.
You got to
like,
see it in person. It
oh,
looked way
You had the pink and all that.
way better in person.
Did you
But-
do it at the shop?
No, we did it at the class. That was
Okay.
our first day. But check this out.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the instructors, man, of Epoxy School of Tampa
Mike and Sophia Jones. Sophia is right here from St. Pete, Bogey graduate.
Oh, Sophia.
So,
Woo-hoo.
so this was
Pirate.
a beautiful black couple that does these certifications.
That's
It's
amazing.
for everybody. It ain't nothing that's hidden. Man, go take the class because it's well worth it. And I just really want to shout them out because I was in a class with a lot of people that have construction background. And I don't really have a construction background. I have more of a floor care background. And he was very patient with me because I was asking questions that other people already knew because of their background. But he was a very good facilitator. So shout out to them, man. And we finna take off, man. I already got some jobs lined up, man. Calvin hit me yesterday. Hey, man, I need this garage done, man. So I'm on it, man. I'm gonna take off.
Okay.
Man, congratulations, man. Once again, the work won't do itself. So keep up the good work,
Well,
my
you
boy.
know what? Yeah, congratulations. But what you said more than anything that stood out, other than like you graduating and getting your certificate, it was a black couple working together. The power of togetherness is amazing.
Reminded me of me and my wife because she does all the marketing for him. So even with the class, she came back. She has a marketing set up.
Okay.
So and that's her. She has degrees, psychology and marketing. So it's a. I love it, man. I wish we can bring it over here. You know what I mean? Because he was looking to expand, but St. Pete might be a little too close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, I mean, how long is the class?
5 days.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
5 days.
And for people who don't know, epoxy is the new covering and flooring that people put in on the countertops. They put it on their floors, the garage floors, and it's giving that.
I took it.
I thought you was already doing it.
I did a copy.
I know. That's what I know.
But
you the first person that kind of turned me on to it.
Yeah, but I wasn't certified. But the thing about it is, after the hurricanes and the flood damages, a lot of people started doing epoxy on their floors because I can moisture barrier, and that epoxy is a waterproof seal.
Yeah, good stuff.
You know
and
what I mean?
it's something that benefits. You know, not only makes the property or your business look better, it raised the property value, man. Good look, man. Big shots out to King Jab and the epoxy, man. Y'all get with my boy.
Hey, man.
We're going to lay it down.
I'm finna drop the whole business layout.
Lay it down.
It's coming. Trust me.
You better lay it down.
What's up with y'all?
It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So y'all know I'm getting ready to do a summer program as well, a summer camp.
Okay.
What? Get out of here when?
The summer.
When it's hot. When the sun come out. So tell us about it.
I mean, you gotta expound.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Like, so it's ready, set, work.
Ready, set, work.
Entertainment and workforce ready.
Okay.
So I got some heavy hitters coming in. Charles, who danced Young Barbecue, Naquan.
Let me see you, squirrel.
No, not
Hey, what?
Oh my God. But it's actually gonna be a really good camp. We're gonna have mental health. We're gonna have conflict resolution with you.
We definitely salute that because it's a lot of conflict.
Financial literacy with Dali and Consuela. I have somebody from Orlando that's coming in for like your new artists who don't know anything, even the old artists. But the camp is for the youth from ages of 14 to 21. With the camp, and what it will be is really like workforce ready from 9 to 3 Monday through Thursday the entire summer. They will get paid. It's $250 per week. I mean, every 2 weeks for the children. They also gonna get a bank account, so their money is deposited, but it's like a real job. If you don't show up to camp, you don't get paid your full pay.
That's what I'm talking about.
My staff is getting paid as well.
I mean, I think that's amazing.
So it's gonna be truly dope. So the first half of the day is curriculum. The second half of the day is on job training. So like if you're a writer, we're gonna put you in some writing camps with some real writers. producers, get you in the studio. The idea is that you
I've been
end up
thinking about
finishing.
writing, man.
Well, come on in and see what you do.
I think
And
my
the idea
pen's
is that-
still hard.
You think so?
I think my pen
I mean,
still
you know what?
might
If
be
you
there.
have a pen, it like never go away. You
Yeah.
know who really showed this? But we'll talk about the summer camp later on.
Yes.
But what really, Will Smith. Y'all
Mhm.
seen Will Smith's new album?
I mean,
I ain't heard it, but I heard
I'm-
Will went
I'm-
in. I ain't gonna front
I-
that little
every-
snippet. Will was like,
every snippet I hear from Will, when you come in, you be like,
Pen,
oh,
yeah, his pen still,
yeah.
he's still witty.
So-
He's still very witty.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing this summer. Me and brother Donnie.
Mhm.
We're gonna be going to the. We're gonna catch these high school teams while they're practicing, and we're finna engaging them in branding and talking to them about this new era of NIL deals.
Okay.
And we're gonna go to the kids, and then we're gonna set up workshops with the parents.
Hey, that's good because a lot of these youth get into that system and have no way to navigate it.
It's a lot, you
And-
know what? It's a lot of money, and so since it's new for them,
Mhm.
they're already doing it, right? Like, because the new age kids are definitely social media savvy,
Absolutely.
right? Now they just need to package it like really pretty.
And they need a branding and make sure that you are something that somebody's willing to invest in.
Mm-hmm. So since we talking about that, I know everybody was talking about the Sanders boys.
Yeah.
You know,
Shador and Shiloh
mhm.
Sanders. I think Shiloh was a walk on.
Shiloh,
Yeah,
I
he
think
had the
it's-
buck.
Yeah,
He had the Bucks.
he was a walk on to the Bucks, and then Shador went to the Browns.
Mhm.
And they say it's a conspiracy amongst the owners to show the Sanders brand, the dad and the family, that they don't control the NFL. And it did happen like that because a lot of quarterbacks got picked that weren't as good as the young man.
So do you buy in? Because they was like he only was coached by his dad, so people think that he may not be coachable.
But see, that's the thing. I disagree. I think his dad is just an instrumental part of his life.
Yeah,
Because he got. But I'm just saying, he still got all kinds of other coaches. He still got all kinds. He still got all kinds of people. Like they have an actual coach. Sanders is not in the huddle, so he is being coached. You know, he's very coachable. He's a winning quarterback.
Yeah.
He won not only awards, he won games. They changed the football for college. Really, you know, I know more people that watch a college game because of the Sanders and his son than ever before. When he was with Jackson State, but then they came to Colorado and it even got bigger. More people was watching, and it's gonna be the same way. Like when the draft, I watched the draft because he won. I was waiting to see him get picked.
Sitting here waiting. I really think that that we need to take notice of what's happening, because when it's a black brand, they take their time to show us that we can't control nothing.
Yeah.
It was nothing wrong with Shador. It was nothing wrong with what they were doing, man. I think it's just a thing of the Deion Sanders brand brought so much excitement to college football.
Yes.
And y'all got to realize, like, this is a grand plan. It goes from college football to the NFL. But they don't want this man to be able to recruit, because it wasn't even about Shador, other than Travis Hunter. After Shador went, then they started getting the rest of them boys, and them boys was better than the people that was on the board.
That's right.
So it was more. So I think it was kind of like buck breaking.
Yeah, publicly.
You know what I mean? We go like,
It was
and
a public,
it's been, like, they do this to black men all the time, and the fact that Shador, I think, bore the sins of his father.
Yep.
Which I went back and watched Deion Draft Day, which was absolute. It looked like a Tubi movie. This man had on about 75 gold chains.
Look,
Jerry Kirk.
but he like his son the same way.
Hard.
His son the same way. His son got a whole 5 kilo necklace on.
Hold on, we gotta.
I'm talking about stunning hard. So
Hold on, caller, introduce yourself. We got 2 minutes.
Hey, this comedian David Davis, I wanted to chime in on that Shooter Sanders thing, man. That's good. Y'all talk about that. I think, you know what I'm saying? I think it was a good thing, because it's kind of like humble Shador and let him know that, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, everything he did, his accolades was good, everything he was qualified to go to the first round, at least the second round. But it just shows like you can't be disrespectful and arrogant towards. He didn't want to interview with some of the teams. He was just like, nah, I ain't gonna talk. It's 12 teams I ain't talking to and doing all this and that. And I just think he like really overplayed the hand. Like he should have been more, even if you want to go to the team.
Other players that did the same.
Yeah.
So he wasn't the only player that said I ain't talking to certain teams. So that ain't new in the draft. There's players that don't talk to teams because they're not interested in going to that team, and that's kind of their right. And the problem is they like you say, it was a public lynching, right? It wasn't a humble Shador. It was the humble the fans. It was the humble us who watching, the dads who standing behind their son, right? The dads who pushing their son to be great. They saying, hey man, we don't need another Baller brand. We don't need another Dion brand. So when you come here with your son, sit in the corner and be quiet.
And I will show you what it did show, the difference of respect that the NFL has for black dads compared to the NBA. Because you see, they do that with LeBron.
No, but
it was a different.
Came out of high school.
No, what I'm saying with his son, they do something, but you will see. Go ahead, Damien.
But you can look at it like at the end of the day, Shador wasn't the number one prospect coming out like that. He was like, you know what I'm saying?
He was high. He was high. He was high.
Number 3.
Yeah, he was high.
He was high.
Not 56. Not 56.
Number 3. Did you hear number 3?
Yeah, but his drive prospect dropped once the way when he go to interviewing with the team. He ain't want to do this. He ain't want to do that. Sometimes you got to know what I'm saying. You could still
appreciate it, Dan. We got to take this break at 8, man. We finna go back to NPR. Y'all join us. And then we're gonna talk about Tampa versus St. Pete. Is blowing up all over the internet.
Oh no, we got a lot of stuff.
Let's
go. We're gonna go back to the Shador and them thing a little bit. But yeah, so tag a friend, tell a friend. We'll be back 7 minutes after the hour.
As manufacturers rushed to ship out goods just before the tariffs kicked in. But even so, China has been hurt by the
It's scheduled for June.
And guess what? Just like that, we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. We're back.
Back up in it.
Well,
Back up in it.
And you're listening to the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am Kiana.
This is the one and only Mr. Ed.
Hey man, this King Jab, what's happening with it?
Yeah, now we're back. Now you be put in the comments and we're gonna say, remember, today is the last day to renew your businesses on some biz. Make sure you do it, because after May 1st,
$400 penalty.
and who wants to pay for
Sweat
it?
pat right up behind your head.
Pay extra for if you have the money. They got me 1 year. They got me 1 year. Most people just switch out their bids, change, add a little.
Nobody
something.
got time for that, man.
But
Do a little rabbit
and
dazzle.
you lose the age of your LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So
And that's where the importance
that's
come
where
from.
the importance come from. Yep.
You want it, so
Absolutely.
Age
For funding,
course.
most people want to make sure that your business has been operating for 2 years.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's part of it. You got just handle business.
Depending on, and listen, to renew is what, like 138, 150, something like that.
Yes, one. So listen, very, very, very. Oh, okay. Let me hit this.
Okay, Mr. Tax Guy.
Make sure you go to sunbiz.org website.
Yeah,
Go
because
to their webpage. Don't just hit any link.
not your
because of-
email, because your email come in with all of
Because the email gonna say, "Hey, it costs $189."
400.
And it's really only $135. These companies is charging you to do your annual report for you. So don't get slapped upside the head for the extra amount. Go do it yourself. It's very easy. And
It takes 2 seconds.
Yeah, and don't give away no free money, man. We ain't got time for that.
Mm-mm.
Speaking of free money,
All right.
money.
I want to go back to this here.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't like the notion that black people need to be humble. And I'm finna tell you why I don't like the notion.
Go ahead.
Because you had 2 top quarterbacks. You had Shador, Cam Ward.
Mm-hmm.
What makes us think that Cam Ward was humble? I done seen videos of him and Shador going back and forth. Cam talking cash, SHIT to Shador. Like they kicking it like 2 homies off the block. Cam Ward bought his whole offensive line, iced out Cubans. Stunting. Not to say that he is doing something different, but we don't need to be humble. And not to say that this happened to Cam Ward. I think the major problem is what happens with our athletes is what happened with Shador is his dad didn't allow him to be whitewashed.
Yeah.
So what happened with our athletes when they go to these schools, the first thing they give them, I've said this before, a white woman, a white agent, white financial advisors. This is how the NFL makes sure that money coming back to them, because your white agent go be richer than you as an NFL player because he got 50 other people like you taking 20% off from all of y'all. You get 100 million, I get 20 all top. Boom, let's go. Then I got another deal I'm finna work over here. So you got to be careful. That's why I tell our parents, like, that's part of what I'm speaking about. If your son don't go to the NFL, he in college, he graduate, go be an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Go right back to St. Pete, Lakewood High School, where you know these boys going to the league, and you can manage these boys as an agent right now going to college.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting agents, and the right kid might need an agent in high school if he him.
Right. You're right about that. But I don't like the narrative about the humbling. They always tell us we need to humble ourselves, right? And if you listen on Monday, I said the same thing, is that to be a star athlete, you got to have a little arrogance and cockiness about you. You have an air of confidence that most people don't hold. This is why you are part of the greats. You ain't never seen one of the greats that don't think they ain't great. They never walked in the room with their head down and said that they're not the best.
I feel like saying that somebody gotta humble themselves is like saying that in order to make it in the industry, you gotta have sex with other men. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to humble yourself to make it. You don't have to follow anybody's rules to make it, because you're only like the Sanders family is only following a path that was already laid for them by the Mannings. who finna do the same thing with their grandson next year, who just left Texas and he was finna be the starter and went to another school for another $7 million in college.
And ain't nobody talking about them.
And he was at Texas. Texas gave him $3-4 million to sit on the bench last year. Their quarterback went to the league. He left Texas and went to another school. No one's talking about this. And the Sanders family only followed their path.
Mm-hmm.
When what it was, Eli and what was the other one? When Eli Manning went to the Giants, they said it wasn't about one team. Man, their daddy came out and said, man, he ain't playing on no team on the whole West Coast. So we're gonna cut this whole entire United States off.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go from there. Come on, man. Anyway, next topic.
So yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Stand on, because what's gonna happen is what I would have done.
Yeah.
What I would have done if I was in position, if I was The Rock, I would have went and called the Sanders family and gave $15 million to Shador to come to the UFL. I'd have told him to come over here to our league, and I'd have paid him his rookie contract out, and now he'd have had reps. He could have actually, I think he could have went to the NFL and not took the rookie deal. He could just went and got his bag. He could have went and got his bag, and you would have showed out over here. So you know.
So listen, yeah. But we'll see what happens this year. I'm excited to see what.
And he lost $40 million worth of signing bonuses not being drafted in the first, second, or third round.
Yeah.
If he'd have went in first round, all of them boys in the first round
are guaranteed.
Pretty much got between $40 and $28 million in signing bonus. This is before you even start playing. So, you know.
Luckily, got money.
Well, no, they don't got money. Their daddy got money.
Yeah, this is true.
What? This is true. So that no.
But you don't think he had any endorsement deals prior?
He had plenty of endorsement deals.
There you go. So he got some money.
Yeah, he had plenty of. No, they got some money. I ain't saying he broke.
I know, but what I'm saying
endorsement wise, they killed it.
Yeah.
Like they killed it. Like that was kind of might have been the problem because of the brand. Like you got Marvin Harrison's son went to the NFL last year and said, "I'm not even signing a deal for y'all to sell my jerseys."
Because you got to sign a deal.
So that now the NFL really showing that they don't want to deal with black fathers, man. That's it.
Yeah,
they did the same thing to LeVar Ball. But I got a 7-year-old grandson that is tall. And boy, y'all got to deal with me.
Oh, I saw my best friend. I saw my best friend.
That joker there.
Oh, she's so stinking cute. Just a sidebar. I just said, good morning, Eric. Good morning, Tiffany.
Yes. Yeah. Wow, what you got going on, man? You got politics today?
Yes. On the point.
Are you finna hop on politics before you do that? Can we talk about that wreck on Clearwater Beach? The boat that hit the ferry.
Yeah,
he's hit it right across, then backed up. Hey,
it's not funny, but it's funny because somebody did lose their life. One person.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
One person did die, so I don't want you to think it's just. But
and really, my laugh comes from the caucasity.
The caucasity.
The caucasity of you to just leave these people out. You just hit this boat like you didn't see what you did.
And then hop off the boat.
And you didn't, and then come the privilege to the caucasity is this ain't the first time he done ran into somebody's boat.
Yeah. He's probably
so what are you doing? I think he ghost ride.
I think he's drunk.
I think the boat just gone. I'm back here chilling, sitting on the couch. Ain't nothing.
No, I think he's
man,
drunk.
You could not be holding the wheel. I don't even think he was holding the wheel, Q. So you zoom right into them people like how you don't see this.
And then how you
this is a boat.
So what? Like you know how like when you do a hit and run, when people they try to get rid of the car. Like how do you pick up a boat?
That's what he did though. It was like he was really from 2000 St. Pete, man. He took him on a high speed in a rental, and he tried to stash it. This was hilarious to me. Like the man backed up and hit it,
and then and so it was the owner of Janice Live.
Yes, Janice Landing or Janice Live.
Janice Land. Is it Janice Landing?
I don't know.
I
I think it might be Janice Landing.
It's the same thing, ain't
I
it?
don't know. Janice Landing might be. Well, that ain't that ain't private. That ain't public owned. That's private owned.
Yeah. But
dang, so he came back through that thing in Janice Landing and parked that thing and threw a tarp over it.
And kept it moving. And was hoping that he can get our vote. So we'll pay attention to it. And now that they know who did it, let's see how they publicize it.
Man, jail, no $1 million bond.
Easily.
$1 million, he got it. $1 million bond for each one of them people that died.
Mm-hmm.
Because you done caused death and you was drunk and you left the scene of a crime. Man, listen. I wish I could be a judge sometimes.
No, yeah.
Yes, I want to be a judge sometimes.
You want to be a judge sometimes?
Yes, because I would show y'all how to really do it. You know what I mean? I would show you how to really.
If
do
I
it.
was a judge, it's so much stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah, Mr. Edmond, what's with your politics?
So the politics, the head politics today, the Save Our Children campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a CoQueb's meeting that's happening today at 9:30 at Enoch Davis Center. This is actually concerning the lawsuit that has gone against Pinellas County for the how can I say, the miseducation of Black children in Pinellas County.
Mm-hmm.
Their report says there's overwhelming evidence Pinellas County schools have not succeeded in providing the same level of education for Black students as whites.
Mm-hmm.
And they're inviting the community to come out and hear the full report. And that's today at 9:30 at Enoch Davis Center. And I think that's really the most important news in politics right now.
But they're still doing that now.
I mean, the lawsuit's still going on. I think they have been negotiating some type of deal with
Because I look at the programs in schools, right? And the programs that Northeast have versus what we got now. What Northeast got a financial literacy program.
Mm-hmm.
And they took these kids to Jacksonville and showed them $1 million cash in a vault.
Wow. Inspiration.
Like, and they got the catering program. Yeah, that's inspiration. When you can see it, you feel like you can achieve it. And that was something that I'm working on. I want to get some kids and take them. I want to take these boys out the hood, let them see that. When you see it, then let's give you something to shoot at. So yeah, it's a lot of it's still going on now. Like Northeast has a plethora of great programs where we got CAT, which is a good program at Lakewood.
We got the beta program.
And I think it's just that
the PCCA.
They got more in one facility, whereas our schools have one or two. You know what I mean?
So Boca Ciega has
the medical,
the fundamental.
Don't they do ROTC?
They do. I went to ROTC at Boca Ciega. I did.
Shout out to the ROTC program and everybody who graduated.
First time I touched a gun was a rifle in there,
and you still holding. See how important
it is?
I
wasn't good at first. When I first started trying to get it, I remember I definitely put a hole in the chalkboard. Boop, right? And then I got better because the one thing is that they teach you how to shoot a rifle depending on where you at. And so I started out at ROTC my freshman year. And that's how I went to Bogey, because I wasn't zoned for Bogey. So I got a special permit to go to Bogey, and I got that to go to ROTC. And worked my way up through ROTC through there. Yes.
These programs are so important. And that's why we just encouraging people to go out today, 9:30. If you got some time, go by Enoch Davis Center and make sure you attend this important meeting.
Look at Lion Fat, man. He should be on top of this one.
That's who is the.
That's why it just came to my mind. Like this sound like it's one of his plays.
Yeah, I think he is the interim president of the CoQueb organization that's having this.
Mm-hmm.
Live Davis, PhD, interim president. So yeah, man, y'all get out there this morning, 9:30. It's at Enoch Davis Center. parents, concerned people, teachers, everybody that's involved, right? You can come out and find out what's in this report. And I'm really interested to see what the next steps is, because I think the time for negotiating is over. We 40 years past the negotiation. I
don't think negotiation is ever over until the
it's over. It's once you have a lawsuit.
We need to complete the negotiation.
No, it ain't completed because it's done. That's what the problem is. We've been continually negotiating on a lawsuit that has already been won. See, I ain't talking about a lawsuit that we're fighting and we're going back and no, they won this lawsuit and they have been going back and forth in ways attempting to negotiate. In my mind,
it has it because a lot of times you win the lawsuit and then you go back to court and you have to renegotiate. Like, let's say they say, hey, you win $400 million. Then it goes back to court, and after going back and forth a couple of times, you end up getting $50 million instead of $400 million.
I'm with you, ball. If we won, man, cash us out, man. We ain't got time for that. 20 something years, man. We could have got that in interest.
Yeah, $1 billion institution. Pinellas County is $1 billion institution. I mean, I think they failed multiple generations. They ain't just failed this generation, this study that's coming out right now. They failed my generation, my churn generation, and the churn after that.
Yeah,
I think
in the generation right now.
Yes,
I'm looking at my son.
Better can read. Better can write.
My son left Lakewood, and they gave him my son's friend left Lakewood. They gave him a certificate of completion. And what they're doing is they're graduating these high school students that can only read sight words. I really dug deep into this because what's missing from their reading is they can't comprehend what they're reading.
Right.
So now I'm only reading the sight words. I'm reading the us as we create. I don't really understand what beautiful is. I don't remember that. I don't memorize it, but I don't understand the concept part of this is a beautiful scenery behind me.
Right.
So that's why we test low, because when we test, you got to read all the questions. Yeah. If I can't comprehend what I'm reading,
I just know the sight words.
Yeah, and I don't understand the paragraph.
And one of the issues is that was one of the negotiations is to lower the standards of a graduation. So that was one of their methods a few years back to raise black male graduation rate, because the black male graduation rate in Pinellas County was severely low still. And one of the ways they used to raise the graduation rate was lower the standard for a graduation. For you to graduate, say it's right here. They lowered it, and now you got to participate in graduation or
a certificate of
complete.
But then you go on the other side of that. You got the ones that can't comprehend, but then you got failed programs too. Like you got like you say the medical ROTC. Those are great programs, but you got a construction program at St. Pete High School. My son graduated from this, and this man can't do no type of construction.
I know you were telling us,
and this is a problem because you got an educator that Mr. Such and Such been here 20-30 years, talk to the kids all type of crazy. I know this because I had to go through it with him, and some kids I'm working with right now that's in his class right now today stays still the same thing. And this is one of the most important classes in Pinellas, because what we'll be doing in Pinellas for the next 30 years.
Yeah, building, and we can't participate because the education.
And these kids should come out of this program at least ready to be an apprentice under a GC.
You really should, but
school to prison pipeline. They sending our children to prison. So a lot of people don't know Pinellas County led the United States in sending underage teens to prison. There were more youth and juveniles in adult prison from Pinellas County than Miami-Dade. So this is something that's interrelated, right? So we learned in the 60s, the late 60s, early 70s, that the Pinellas County School was failing black students, right? And decades later, we look at the product that produced the school to prison pipeline here, right? They're directly interrelated, and I think they're not putting those things together. They're dealing with each one in a different silo. right? In this silo is the education or the miseducation, but in this silo is the jail, and they need to go to jail anyway. So that's how people feel. But the reality is, other cities and other states are not sending their youth, was not sending their youth to prison like that. It was something unique and special to this area.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's not saying that children ain't going to prison everywhere. But Pinellas County had a real school to prison pipeline, and like we was a part of, we was in it. You know, a lot of us didn't know we was in that school to prison pipeline. They lowering the education standards and really putting us in a bad space. So if y'all just tuning in, we talking about the upcoming meeting.
Because I think statistically, what they say, they take the 3rd grade reading level, and that lets them know how many more prisons they need to build.
Yes, and they're directly tied together.
You can't read. Where you going? You got to get out here and hustle.
And then, you know, what the problem is, they don't mention none of these things when they talk about the youth. When they talk about what's going on with the youth, that's in a different silo. They ain't saying how badly miseducated they is. They ain't saying what they're get done to them throughout the school system. Yes, it's
a product of the miseducated
it's 5 to 6 generations deep. And then you wonder, well, why the parents ain't helping them? What the parents? Because the parents was failed. They was educated poorly, and so now it's a generational thing here. It's like 5, 6 generations deep. My children, my mama before her. You know, if you graduated in 78, 79, you was in it.
I don't know. So like I agree that like the school system is failing our children, but I think the parents are too.
I mean, I think
it goes hand in hand with each other. And I do so before because I was
go ahead.
So I will say is I agree that if you were passed on while you were in school, it's hard for you to help your children, right? But there is a time I know people who have a 2nd grade education and was like, I'm not letting my children do that, and they focus on their kids. And I think a lot of times, and not all, because we don't subscribe to all, is that we like to point the finger at somebody else and stop taking responsibility ourselves. Right.
It's all about responsibility.
And so like,
for ourselves.
And I always say, like, you see these kids who are failing, and you look back at their parents and where their priorities are at.
When you dealing with the kids of these 30 to 45-year-old women and men that's out here fighting in the dirt, this their children.
No, this
is their children.
Usually it's their grandkids, because by this time the 30 and 45 people that's fighting typically were teen parents, right? So now this is their grandkids at this point.
Exactly.
That's in there that's failing
at
this point. And then they're still
great grand.
You know, they're still living through their children.
That's even more trauma. Like that's even more traumatic to think about. Okay, I got a parent that's been handicapped by the educational system, but it goes even deeper to my grandparent.
To the child, and
can't even assist me around this obstacle because they still stuck in the same cycle.
But just imagine this, right?
Okay,
after 3 generations of failing schools, right? So that's from 70 to, let's say, 2000, right? 30 years, right? And imagine a child comes in with their homework and say, Dad, can you help me with my homework? Right? And Dad can't, right? Can't. And it take a real man to say, baby, I can't. So, but he can't, right? So now the child goes to school with that homework and nobody has helped them.
So this
you get what I'm saying?
Let's go back to this.
And then they say, well, the parents need to help the kid.
And this is here's the solution to it. This is when you got to put your pride aside. And even though you might not physically say you can't, that doesn't stop you from getting him help for somebody that can. But a lot of times people get stuck and their pride won't let them do what they need to do for the people that they love and even for themselves. Like, people get stuck in this rut and know that they're in a bad cycle. And instead of just saying, I need help, they rather walk around and act like and just stay angry.
But so, and I agree. But let me just add this. We have to factor in that life is calling, right? Yeah, I want to better myself and go back to school, but I gotta pay this rent and take care of these kids.
There's enough for free.
But all I'm saying, all I'm saying is people are still living life as they're dealing with this. So it's just not like, okay, they can just stop and say, okay, I ain't gonna go to work this week. I'm gonna go back.
Nobody said stop going to work. What I said is ask for help.
But see, this is the thing.
When are we gonna stop making excuses?
Because
life is life.
Because what you know is not what everybody knows. So I'm talking about this person that's come through this education system and can't read the homework. They don't know what they don't know.
Jabbar,
they don't know what they don't know.
Jabbar will tell you this is almost everybody we know is on social media. Not all, but almost everybody we know. And you see these programs out there hit social media. There's stuff that go and wait.
You don't hit everybody. It's your algorithm. It's your algorithm, though.
Nothing doesn't hit anybody.
It's your algorithm.
You want me to tell you, when you looking for a barber, you go find the flyest barber. And you don't make no excuse about that I'm too busy.
Yeah, I hear that.
No. When you looking for the flyest fit to go to the cat or anywhere else, you don't make no excuses for that. When you trying to hit at night, you ain't making no excuses. You ain't got no license. Your tag expired, but you still figuring out how to dodge the police to get over there to get that.
That's part of the life.
That's
you part of life.
But then you want to give me an excuse about helping your children.
It's not an excuse. It's a reality. So all I'm saying is everybody's excuse. But it's not an excuse. Everybody's reality is different. Okay. What's easy for you is complicated for another person, and it's impossible for another person. So I'm gonna say it again. What's easy for you is hard for another person and impossible for another person. And what we got to do as we're building these grand ideas, we got to think about the person that is impossible for. Because me and you can vibe on it, and I say, yo, you right, I'll go look that up and go get me some help reading. I get on YouTube and find me some reading help. That's one level of person. But then you have another group of people that you just went over their head with that whole conversation.
Yeah, but
they didn't even comprehend it. And now you're staring and bashing them down, and they're not even really clearly understanding what you're talking about. You get what I'm saying?
You was like accountability.
Oh, it's accountability 360 though.
But what I'm saying
it's a 360 accountability.
We done seen the impossible happen when you wanted to do it, but when it's not a priority for you, it's easy for you to point fingers at somebody else and saying why they're not getting it done. And so we saw it even with Tony at his barbershop when he was like, oh, you were bringing your child there to get a haircut anyway. And the parents were willing to pay for them children not to read. They didn't even to do nothing but what they were already doing. It's accountability, and we have to stop. Like, I know things happen, but we got to stop giving excuses for people just being sorry, because you see it when they want to get stuff done, they do.
And I agree, right, that you can't give a sorry individual a pass. And I'm not giving nobody a pass. I said accountability 360. Self-accountability, systematic accountability, right? Don't just look at me and don't look at the system that I was forced to be in. And then say, oh, well, see, you just sorry. It's not that simple. It's very, very complicated. And we're trying to simplify it, right? Just for conversation's sake, but it's way more complicated than that, especially when you got generations. So I ain't just talking about from the 70s to now, I'm talking about before then. They was doing this, the bad education and the systematic oppression. So now when you're standing here and you're seeing what it produced, don't bash the production. Realize what it produced. Man, that's what that produced. Mm-hmm. That's what that produced.
So when you say that, so again, I'm with the 360, but when you say that, don't leave yourself out.
360 is everybody.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna have to agree with both of y'all, and I think that the word that's missing in between both of y'all is the motivation of the person. Some people are motivated, some people just unmotivated, and you have to be motivated to say, "Oh, I gotta swallow my pride and figure out how to help my son with this homework." You know what I mean? It's just a mask of motivation, and some people are not motivated. I tell people all the time, people are like, oh, I want to start my own business. I say, bro, if somebody got to call you because you on the way to work is you coming today, bro? You're not the type of person that's going to start a business because nobody's going to call you and wake you up and say, hey, go handle your business.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just either you self-motivated or take other people to motivate you, or you're unmotivated. But I think it's just a part of motivation, because you should be motivated to do better for your kids, even if these things were taken away from you.
Right.
That should motivate you to say, dang, I got to make sure my grandkids ain't going through or don't be where I'm at this age. You know what I mean?
Hey, caller, introduce yourself.
Listen, I just want to say you, just listen. Don't say you don't know what you don't know. You do know what you don't know. If you don't know something, you'll say quick, I don't know nothing about that. That means you need to educate yourself to know, because you already know you don't know. If you don't know something that your kid need to know, you need to be learning that to help your kid, or take them to the person that do know. So
That's why I'm saying in the school.
We don't know.
That's what I'm
saying.
Listen, but I'm just saying that's why we're sending them to school.
Listen, we sending them to school, right? But we know we don't know. But we know we don't know. The same way, hey, Jab do taxes. You don't do taxes. You send your paperwork to Jab to do your taxes, because you know you don't know. You say, hey, my dog gonna take care of him. He gonna do the taxes for me. You know you don't know. We got people in this community that we know tutor people. We know Jerome, and we know they tutor people. You know you don't know, but you know he do. So you send them to the people that tutor. Don't make the excuse, I don't know. And then while your kid getting tutoring, guess what you need to be doing? Getting it too. Instead of making an excuse, I don't know. Listen, excuse line forward with the complaint line. What are we going to do other than say, I don't know? We going to get to know. We going to get to know. That's all we can do. Or we can keep doing the same thing and getting the same result. Definition of insanity. Doing the same thing, getting the same result. And then you want to complain about that? That ain't working.
And Yubi.
Yes, sir.
If I can't say this enough, I agree with you. No, but no, nothing. I agree with you. I just would like to add that also applies to the system that we're in.
I agree.
Because by law, I got to send my kid to that school. Right?
I agree.
Hold on. I just let you talk. By law, I got to send my children to that school. By law, my mama had to send me to school, to that same place. And all I'm saying is put that same kind of audacity and that same type of tone towards the system we forced to go to. Don't just say it to me. Don't say it to the person who can't read. Don't say it to the person who failed. Don't say it to the person who's going through something in life. Say it to the system that's flush with dollars. Help them people.
Hold on, Yubi. I will tell you this. You're forced to go to school, but not to the school that's failing you. Because there's a lot of schools that said, no.
It's not a lot of choices. The opportunity is not all for everybody.
But Jabbar,
so everybody didn't have an opportunity to go to a different school. That's all I'm saying. And you know that. Everybody knows that. You had to have a certain situation so that you would be able to, take my son to this different school. Let's move over here. Let's use this address. All the games. See, that's the people. But that's the people who knew, and that's the people who was savvy enough to kick that game like that. But there's people who aren't that savvy, and they're stuck where they're at. And all I'm saying is, hey man, we got somebody we can talk to about that. Right? We got somebody who's responsible for that, who's already been held accountable legally. And we ain't saying nothing to them. See what I'm saying? That's self-hurt, that's self-pain. Because we're gonna turn to each other and bash each other down when there is a focus and a person who you're legally gotta go to. Have a kid right now and don't send them to school.
I'm finna tell you right now. I'm finna tell you where the problem is. I'm talking about accountability, right? And gave you options. You felt like it was bashing. So again, we see this all the time in our community when you're trying to give constructive criticism and give you the tools to be successful because you don't have it. Now somebody say, hey, you could do this. but I'm bashing you. No, I'm trying to give you tools for you to be better. So we got to stop putting our egos and our self-interest in front of our children and the betterment of our people.
We got to.
When you bashing me. No, I'm telling you there's more options. If you don't know there's more options, I just told you there is.
Okay then, but right after that, you said, okay, we got to hold the people accountable. They got to do something. The parents got to do something. That is bashing. So there's a line.
No, it's accountability. Okay, once you know, you can't unlearn it, right? And so if you didn't know, and I'm saying, hey, listen, there's other options. Like we keep on.
So what if I don't understand that? So let's say you said that and it went over my head and I didn't comprehend it. Now you gonna say, I told you. Then I'm gonna say, wait, what you told me? See, you don't know what's going on in my brain. And you just said all the solutions to help me, and it went over my head. I didn't comprehend it.
So, real quick. So, the whole feel of me working in the conflict resolution film came from a MRT program that me and Eric.
What MRT is?
It's moral recognition therapy.
Okay.
And it's directed at the mind state. How you thinking about stuff? Your mind state. Where's your mind state to think about it? Because it's all about mind state, both of what y'all talking about. And this was the program that we submitted to the foundation for funding. It was rejected. I went through all that online, but this was the program to directly link into our community and say, hey, let's get in this room and let's talk about our mind state while we approach these things in such manner. Because I think the motivation, everything y'all saying, it's all on the person's mind state.
I agree.
It's on Q saying, great point. Well, what you doing? We did it, but my mind state saying, man, I ain't finna do all that. I got people that tell me they not finna sit on the phone with IRS for 4 hours for an $8,000 check. And I had to tell them, well, how many you at work right now?
What you get paid hours?
And that's what I have to say. So you at work right now, getting paid $20 an hour, and you don't want to take
4 hours.
4 hours to get 8,000, and it's all mind state.
It is. So I agree with you on that. So mind state, like most people, not all, are willing to take penitentiary chances, right? Do 8 to 20 years, but then won't sit on the job
for the same money
for 8 hours a day. But willing to make a penitentiary chance. Do some stuff that may put them in prison for 8 to 20 years, but then say I can't sit on a job.
But that's an education thing.
But we talk about
thing too. But I'm just saying that's some education-based stuff too.
So I'm gonna bring up one more story because I got an appointment with, and this is a prime example. And I want to speak on somebody that was directly affected by what we talking about, right? So I got a cousin. My cousin got a 6th grade education. Y'all done heard me talk about this before. After 6th grade, he ain't going to school. He on the block with us. Right? I can't read. I can't comprehend. Right back to your point. Cuz on the block. I'm at trade wins. Hey, man, come on out here and work with me. 33 years old. This man ain't even have an ID. He had to go get an ID to come work with me. From working with me, that took him to a man that taught him, the guy that can't read, how to do electrical work. This man's been working with doing electrical work for the last 7-8 years. I say about 6 years.
Yeah.
And he a beast.
Yeah, no, that's what he's doing.
So we gotta, and this is part of the things that I was working on in our community. I understand we all got all these programs on re-entry. Who's re-entry? Who's re-entering? These kids that can't read. So now we're gonna throw a book at them. Oh, you can't do electrical work because you got to get a certification. That ain't how you teach them, bro. You got to go hands on. The hardest dude that did bondo work in the city or did a paint job in the city was the one that trained under his granddaddy.
Yeah,
he ain't going to no school.
Yeah, hands on.
So we got to get around that, bro. And it's on us. It's on us. Like in these next 4 or 5 months, bro, it's gonna get rough.
Yeah,
and it's on us to look after us, bro, and to change our mind state. We can't look at nobody else, bro. America finna go through it, but we been going through it.
I hear that.
We've been going through it.
Yeah.
I had customers sit down and say, hey, what we gonna do? We're gonna be all right. They gotta go through it now. All we gotta do is insulate, take care of each other. So it's like, bro, we gotta really, really like. This is crazy because before we started this, I told you, Jabbar, I took my ball and went home.
Yep, you told me.
Because I don't even have the passion. Like you hear how passion I speak,
yes,
but I don't have the passion to fight against the forces that's within our community.
Yeah.
Because it's us fighting against us. It's the soft Negroes fighting against the real ones. Like literally, the people that's oppressing us is the one we used to punch in the face walking down the hallway. Now they mad. FNs. So this is the problem. These people that's controlling our whole community right now, and they'll look at somebody like King. Oh no, we can't do that with him. We can't do that with him. But the reason why I take my ball and go home because every IP that come out of this brain, they steal, bro. I sat here on the radio station for 3 years, bro, and gave them nothing but a game. So, you know, it is what it is, bro. We're going to insulate. We're going to take care of each other. These are things that I'm working on. And in my mind state right now, I'm not chasing funding. I'm chasing capital. We finna get this money. And we just finna go on and get from around y'all because these kids that we're mentioning, the ones we're talking about right now, they're being failed by leadership currently, not 1970.
Yeah,
they've been failed right now in real time. In real time. Then it's gonna be like, oh, it's so many shootings and car thefts in the summer. We got to do something. Not my son. Oh, Jesus Christ, why they killing each other? Because y'all have took everything away from them. Y'all have nothing real set up for them.
But then we'll say on the flip side, we have leaders that's got stuff set up for them. You can't, you know what I'm Story 727 is a leader, is leaders in our community.
Well,
you know,
I'm finna go.
Yeah,
because we ain't got nothing set up no more.
No, I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is there is leadership in here that has stuff set up.
And that's the mention of the real ones we talking about.
But what
the
I'm
ones
saying
that the kids go connect to. Jabbar seen this, bro. Us going in there talking to them kids is different than these other people, than the people with the degrees. When we go in there and tell them kids about the PREA Act, how this man tell me how St. Pete is leading and sending underage kids to school. And I go in there and tell them, 95% of underage youth, they go to state prison. When they get to that compound, they raped. Y'all ain't even, y'all ain't even giving our kids these games, but y'all want them to function. Y'all want to give them pity patty. Like what you're doing, what you just told me and laid out, just giving the kids something that's, when I leave here, I can utilize this. Yeah. Not y'all go sit here, let's go play Foursquare and eat lunch.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want to do that.
Hey man, I got a
man.
Point, man.
Thank you so much, man.
Today,
great conversation.
Taking my ball and going home again.
Thank you for coming in.
I appreciate you, bro.
But no, I mean, there's definitely a problem, right?
It's definitely an issue.
And the thing is it's not black and white. It's a
no, it's not. And it's complex.
It's very
and it's complex. Yeah.
And so there's no one solution to this.
Yeah, and we just gotta have these conversations and figure out the solution.
Right.
It's got to be done. It's got that's why what's happening today at 9:30 at the Enoch Davis Center, the conversation with CoQuebs about the Pinellas County schools failing is so important.
Yeah.
Today at 9:30. Definitely y'all come out. This is an important conversation because our community. I wish these meetings would happen when teachers and students could participate.
Yeah.
Right. Because like right now, 9:30, people either going to school, in school, at work, going to work, sleeping, resting to get up and go to work. So it's a lot of things that prevent the average working class person from being at a 9:30 meeting.
I agree, especially for this meeting. For this, and
I hear you. I hear you because we talked about this before.
Yes, it's this meeting.
Yes.
Why it's so important for it not to be 9:30.
Yes. during the work week.
During the work week,
Because working class people.
I think this really should have been on a weekend.
Yes.
And I'm not saying
I like that. I was saying 6 o'clock, but you're right. It should have been like a weekend thing, so more people could come.
Or the option, because we can't say if more people gonna come. Because I tell you this, you could tell people that your meat is bad all day, but we still eating it, right? So it's hard to force vegetables in people, and you went to the doctor, they tell you have high blood pressure, your cholesterol, you got diabetes, all the stuff, and you still won't change it. So it's really hard to get people to change or to make them prioritize stuff that's important. That they've never done before.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
To just give them the option where they can't take that, you eliminate that excuse. Because again, we do know a lot of them, if they're not working right now, they're sending their children off to school right now.
I know. Yep. And get on the bus or whatever the process is in the morning for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I agree. And then I think what we can do also, because we do have to have accountability on all sides and do some things at the home or in the community to take up the slack for some parents that might not have the educational capacity. And putting together like the summer camps, like what Story doing, like what a lot of other people are doing, and put resources to uplift these groups. Because a lot of times the problem is a lot of these grassroots groups is really doing it from volunteers and out their own pockets.
Because you don't understand, because the passion is there.
Yep.
Right. And the funding is hard to get.
Yes.
And the people who figured out the niche to get the funding, kudos to them, because they do, right? But then some of the people who figured out how to get it, they're part of the system because they're not even using the funding properly.
And it's the problem is, and I was talking to some city staff. The problem is, once the resources are made available, a lot of people automatically feel they're being used by the people that need them.
Yeah.
And then one group is supposed to, or two groups is supposed to
allocate all.
Yeah, or be some type of buffer to say, okay, look what we're doing over there. Look what we're doing there. And then
you know what? Really, a lot of these grants and like these, you have to look good on paper and not good in real life.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when you're doing the work for real, sometimes you don't look good on paper.
And the work sometimes the work don't look good on paper. And you are exactly right, because a lot of times, and I'm going to say this, a lot of times the most impactful groups, like I say, are doing it from out their own pockets or volunteering. And the problem is that's unsustainable. Right? And they can have the best program in America. They going hard, they in the paint, doing whatever. But that's only sustainable up to a certain spot. And what we got to do is kind of get some resources to help sustain and lift up the groups that are already in the paint doing the work, and the people who are already boots on the ground. Because the problem is, a lot of times we come up with some pretty ideas and we go hold hands in the street and take some pictures, and now we're a funded program, and now we're supposed to be serving the community, but we haven't been doing it. We ain't really connected. What we are doing is we're good at making photo ops, and we're good at doing other stuff, and those people do get rewarded,
Yeah.
And it's not a slander or a slight, but it's a reality that some people in the paint ain't good at the photo ops. They ain't good at the other part.
To be honest, because they really out here doing the work and they don't really have time for it. But you need a little bit of all of it, and I will tell you,
we need it all. I heard that.
And you know what else we need? We really need to bring the neighborhood back to the hood. You know what I mean? Because parenting, like for real, like parenting is a team sport.
Bring the neighborhood back to the hood.
No, for real. Like you need to
put a neighbor back in the hood. I like how you said it though. That's dope.
I switch something up real quick.
Yeah, you got that with what?
But no, you really do, because like you don't know your neighbors.
Yeah, you gotta, and you know what I mean? You don't know what they need. I agree. I hear that.
And you don't know their personalities. Like you ain't had no real conversations with them.
Yeah, I hear that.
And so how do you how can you trust your children with somebody you don't know?
Yeah, that's what I say. I hear that.
So I hear that. That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's when the village took care of everybody, and we need that village.
Return of the village. Yes. We got a multi-layered problem on our hands, and so we have to have multi layers of solutions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's going on this week? Coming up.
You just handed it to me, and you know it's the Chalk Festival. You on the board, so you gonna look at me, and then you gonna tell me like the people ain't looking at you since. It's the 3rd annual Chalk Festival on Saturday.
Yes,
on
this Saturday.
Yeah, this Saturday, Deuces Live from 9 to 4.
Yes.
Please come out, bring your kids. It's a free event.
Yes. We talking about solutions. See, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to add the solution. I'm just saying a solution that's independent. Is the 3rd year. Big shots out to PDAP. Big shots out to Miss Debbie. The Chalk Festival, everybody involved. Deuces Live, Creative Pinellas, City of St. Pete, the Estuary, and the Warehouse Arts District. Man, thank y'all so much. This is the 3rd annual. It's an amazing event. Please come out and enjoy
and
the
let the kids come in and they get the
draw
all on the sidewalk under the highway and everywhere.
Listen. No, not under the highway.
Or whatever.
No, but yes. Okay.
Under the bridge.
On the sidewalk. Because you remember when we was kids, we used to draw on the sidewalks. You don't remember you used to do that?
Yeah, because we play hopscotch. Put your number.
See, we ain't have chalk. So if you remember, we ain't have chalk.
What?
No, we ain't have chalk. So see what I'm saying? We ain't have chalk. But listen what happened. You remember St. Pete used to have those sidewalks like in octagons?
Yeah.
And it was all broke up all over the place. So we would take the broken pieces of the concrete and draw on the concrete with it.
See, now the octagons on the sidewalk, that was our hopscotch. 1, 2, 3,
that was our
4, 5,
they ain't
6,
last long.
7, 8, 9, then 10, and then you throw your rock and you out. Boom, boom. But we always had chalk. I remember never having chalk.
Yeah, we had concrete. We were right with concrete on concrete. Yeah, so
and you look at like even the beauty of our show when we talk about it, the difference of like the lifestyle that we live, but we all end up being great people, right?
I mean, it's a beautiful world. God is good.
Look at the obstacles that you had compared to the life that I had. We still ended up almost in the same place, and it was the will
of God. God willing. It was God's will. I'm telling you, I got a part in it, but boy, I was blessed beyond measure. I can't say that enough. And it was
your mindset too, but
I think I developed the proper mind state. I think through our adversity and tragedy.
And you want me to tell you what also you did was you found a good group of people.
Yes. That's a blessing. Yes.
You found a good group of people.
Good nucleus.
And you found a good group of men. For men, I say that. Because men keep other men accountable. When you doing other stuff that's off the wall, your homeboys
like, what you doing?
What you doing? Like, turn up, like you wrong.
Yeah, man, what you doing?
And when you walk in this world, women or men,
you got to have a good nucleus of people.
And you got to have people that
cultivate it. Even if you ain't got it, build it, cultivate it, because it's so important. A support system.
You need a support system that keep you in check, that you
keep
support,
you grounded,
that tell you like, yo, tighten up, or no, you doing a good job. And when you don't have that, you see that you're the only person that's telling, and usually you give yourself bad advice.
That's why you can work on yourself. Know thyself within. It's 9:00, so 9:30 Enoch Davis Center. 9:30 Enoch Davis Center.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for Sister Hughes.
Lose your shoes and shout all around the room.
And this has been the Tampa Bay Breakfast Club. I am Kiana,
and I'm the one and only Mr. Edmund.
And we're out.
The station that rules the nation.
Stop Radio.